back of my head. Dr. V, there he is. The man, Dr. V, the addiction specialist, the man who can never at all explain why he's addicted to us doing this. I can't understand. I always ask him. He can't give me an answer. He just thinks we're two old goofs who run around like talking about this kind of stuff. And there you are. Oh, you didn't see, now you see yourself? Dr. V, there's Dr. V. Dr. V starring as Max Headroom. And Dr. V says he's bringing in a technical analyst to check out why we can't get him on vertical. The technical analyst is 10 years old, and we're hoping for some help.
Nico, I need your help.
This is before we start our stuff. We got to get it out there and be honest about everything.
Nico gets more views than we do.
Go for Nico. I say right on. Now, look, I brought notes today. I'm always, as you know, no notes, no sense. But we got to go with some notes. And we're talking Trump, Trump. We're going to be focusing on the presidential election today and issues and why we think, well, I'm speaking for myself, but I think I'm also at this moment speaking for Dr. V, and why we think Trump just is not qualified to be president of the United States. But we're going to go through a lot of this stuff, and we understand the reality of what's going on, but the man is horrendous. Let's start getting through this kind of stuff. The first thing is, why does he have to deal with hate? Yeah, I know hate works. I got a thumbs up. I know hate works. But why are we always dealing with hate? But it's not just hate. It's the lies. You know, I was always yelling, hallelujah, Finsky. You know, I was always yelling about this. MAGA means going back. It means going back to some time that was not really good. Who knows what times were good? You didn't live then. It wasn't that good then. It's good now because you live now and understand, can look back, but how can you beat what's going on right now? But the man deals in hate and lies. So he takes the hate. He's smart. He's so smart, Trump. He takes the hate. He takes the lies and he rolls them together, and people are so used to hearing it, they go, yeah, let's understand. We have a gene problem here in America because the immigrants must find a way to take the genes out of their body, and I'm sure Dr. V knows how to do this. Is going to thank you, baby. We love you. We love Australia, part of one of America's top allies. But maybe Dr. V can explain this, how these immigrants take the genes out of our bodies, okay, and make them bad. I mean, they're bringing the genes in and they're mixing. I think they're going in the air the way COVID did, and they're mixing, and we're all getting blown by it. It's really horrible. James, we're talking Trump. You can say Trump 20. Harmesh, right on. We're talking Trump. We want to hear why you like Trump. We're coming in why it's all jive. There was no invasion in Springfield. An invasion of what? People who were willing to come in and work? Look, it's tough. Immigration has not had an answer. Congress, we have said it from the beginning. Congress has not dealt with immigration in 40 to 50 years. So just yelling about it doesn't work. It doesn't go anything. What's the use of live streaming? You just lay it out there and tell it the way it is, Susanna. So what's happening is, instead of coming in with a plan for immigration, people would rather just say, we're being invaded, we're getting attacked. Yeah, there are some bad immigrants. What are you going to say? There are criminals everywhere. There are no criminals in America. There are no criminals here in any city, in Philly or New York or Alabama or Mississippi. Criminals are everywhere. There are, of course, some immigrants are going to be criminals, and we got to deal with them. But we still have to deal with what's going on. What's going on is the people are here. We have an election coming and just throwing mud against the wall. What does that do? It doesn't do much of anything. Let's go back to the Trump record. Everybody always says, oh, Trump was the greatest. He was, let's look at it about 4 years ago. Really? 4 years ago, how many people died, Dr. V? Hundreds of thousands of Americans died from COVID. Who was president? Donald Trump. I don't think anybody else was president then, right? Was there? We don't have co-presidents, do we, Dr. V?
You gotta remember what it was like. Do you remember when we couldn't get testing? Do you remember when Trump said, I don't believe in tests because he didn't want to identify people who had COVID because it made them look bad?
But he gave it to
Remember,
Putin. But he gave it to
one big
Putin.
challenge that he had during his presidency was dealing with COVID, and he blew it. This country, relative to other countries, did a really poor job of dealing with it. And then, when things are really out of control, then he puts all these restrictions that no one can go to work. Unemployment went sky high. It was terrible. Now, the one thing he did do a good job was he fast tracked the vaccine.
Yeah, but he was embarrassed. He was embarrassed. Let me throw this out. You're there, but let's hit the issues here, Dr. V. You ran over 10 of them. You see, Dr. V is so smart. He'll blow through issues like, I've never seen a guy. I have trouble staying up with him. In class, it was tough all those years ago. Understand, listen to what Dr. V was saying. We didn't have tests, but Trump took COVID tests and sent it to Vladimir Putin and wouldn't tell anybody. Understand. What?
Putin first.
Putin, right, Putin first. Give us thumbs up. We love thumbs up. Dr. V. Joe Speaks. Just an American citizen here. Thank you. We love your thumbs up. We love you watching. Let's get back to it here. He gave the stuff to Putin. Even Putin said, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. If we tell anybody, right on, Harmesh, if we tell anybody, you'll get in trouble. But that's Putin. Putin and Trump, they're best buds. They love each other. Don't we understand what's going on? That's the truth. And then when Trump's spokesman said, we didn't give him a test, Putin came in and said, yeah, they did give me the test, or his right-hand man did. So let's understand where we are with Trump versus Putin and these guys. But let's get back to COVID. Hundreds of thousands of people died during COVID. Who was the president? Donald Trump. Period. Trump. See the science. Trump had hundreds of thousands of people died. They died, guys, under Trump. And he lied and said there's no real COVID. There's 20-some people on some boat out in the harbor. We don't have to worry about this. Come on, Lily. Really? Or we pay? Who's paying for views? I don't know what views. Geez, I'm lost there. We're not looking for views here. We just want happy people come on. We come on every Sunday. We don't care if you're pro-Trump. We don't care if you're pro-Harris. We don't care what side. We appreciate you coming on. We love talking about this stuff. That's what it is. We pay for views. Only dummies pay for views. They go nowhere. They're on and off later. Bottom line is here. I'm sorry, not bottom line. So we come back. So COVID, and not only did all those hundreds of thousands of people die, Dr. V, who shut down America? Trump. I love waffles. Trump shut down America. Right, guys, you can try to get off all you want, but the truth is, here it is. Trump shut down America. He was president. All the schools, everything shut down. Hundreds of thousands of Americans died. Unemployment exploded. That was all under Trump. And you can sit here and say to me, well, it was his problem during COVID. Well, Biden had his problems. Whatever is thrown at you as president is what you got to deal with. FDR had to deal with an attack at Pearl Harbor in World War II. That's what happened. He ended up being a great president. If we lost, he would have been a horrible president. That's why Trump was a horrible president, because he lies about where it was. Remember, guys, and I appreciate all you watching. Thank you. Trump was president when hundreds of thousands of Americans died. Period. The end. All during COVID. Trump was president when the country was shut down. All under Trump. Trump was president when unemployment skied. All under Trump.
Inflation was down, Mark. The price of gas was low. That's what I keep hearing.
Not then. They started back then, because nobody was buying it. There was nowhere to go. Nobody was driving anywhere, Dr. V. Everybody was home because Trump shut down the country. James, fact check everybody. Hey, of course the world shut down. Not no, the world. We're talking about America. Now you're comparing us to the rest of the world. If you want to talk about the rest of the world's season signs and call people names, we have the best economy in the world. We're blowing everybody else away. It isn't even close. I wanted to respond to Seed, who said, well, everybody had a problem. No, it's all each individual country, Seed, and we have the best economy in the world right now. So if you want to compare, no, Trump did this while he lied to America about COVID. Go for it, Dr. V. I'm going to look at the comments while you're talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, Debbie.
Debbie's back. We love you, Debbie. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. When it comes to the price of gas, Trump supporters will say the price of gas was really low, inflation was low. But then when you point out that look what's happening in the country at the time,
it doesn't.
with high unemployment, lockdowns, I say, well, the rest of the world was going through the same stuff. So now we go to 2024 and we dealt with inflation, that sort of thing, and it's all Biden's fault. But the rest of the world was going through inflation and we did well relative to the rest of the world.
JK, right.
You know, how can you have it both ways? That when something is out of your control, like COVID, Trump gets a pass, but a consequence of the policies during the COVID era was inflation. And that just didn't happen in the United States, it happened all over the world. And that's what happens when, to keep the economy afloat, people got free checks in the mail, the PPP loans came out. And that did help protect the country from going through a steep depression. But in the meantime, it did fuel the flames of inflation.
It completely fueled
in the United States, but it happened in the rest of the
world. Because
world.
there was no supply and all the demand was there. That's the bottom line. And for those of you who are making these statements about us making money, let me tell you something. Dr. V and I aren't making money on this. Right? I mean, we aren't even considering it. We put it out there. We tell you what we believe, what we feel, and where it's going. Nobody's paying us. Nobody owns us. I could tell you something about Dr. V and myself. We have been around too long. Nobody is going to own us. We tell you what we think and we run with it. And that's the bottom line. Period. The end. So you can say whatever you want. What you hear is from here, and the same from back there from Dr. V. Okay? So let's keep going. So yeah, your channel is, no, we're not monetized, Josh. We don't care. We're into this to just tell people what we think, where we are, because we believe that the Harris campaign has been too laid back and is not in here talking about some of the stuff that's so bad. Let's talk about, we all talk, I'm going to talk about, they're going to say Mideast very quickly, but let's talk about foreign affairs. Why do you think there's a war going on in the Mideast? It's all Trump. I love it. Harris president since 2020. No, she was called vice president. Vice president. They're there until the president dies. Otherwise, the vice president is just an advisor. So why is Trump the problem? Because when Trump was leading, Trump and Netanyahu were making all these deals and trying to make it with Saudi Arabia and with and all the other Egypt and all the other groups out there. We already had a deal with Egypt and all the Abraham Accords, the other countries. What Trump didn't do was make a deal with the Palestinians. Maybe the most important issue to have to deal with at that point, whether you agreed with it or not, was the Palestinians. And look what happened. Look what happened. The Palestinians upset the entire Abraham Accords, blew them out of the water because Trump, the dummy, Trump, who says, I'm tough and I'm the man, did nothing and let it explode. The Mideast is Trump's problem, is the reason because Trump did not take care of what he had to take care of. The Abraham Accords ended up just being a balloon with a lot of hot air in it. Go for it, Dr. V.
Yeah, it's you can't have it both ways. I'm looking at some of the comments that there's such hypocrisy on both sides, to be honest with you, that if something was good during Trump's administration, he wants to claim credit for it. When something was bad, it was because of external circumstances. He claims no responsibility for it. Yet now, there's
GJ.
something going on, and that's all Biden's fault. And the external circumstances don't matter. And to some extent, Harris does the same thing too, but not to the same extent.
Well, time out. Somebody came on. Who's this with Afghanistan? Let me explain something on Afghanistan, if I may. It's a good question. The problem with Afghanistan was Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden. They all blew it together, okay? Understand where it went there. Obama put a lot of people in, then he pulled them out. Trump let out 5,000 killers. Trump tried to invite the heads of the Taliban to meet with him. Where was it? At Camp David? Remember that? So that's Kathy, go for it. So he tried to invite them to Camp David, but he let out 5,000 crooks, 5,000 killers who went out and reconstituted the Taliban out in the area. Now, in the far outside the city. Now, did Biden do a good job getting us out of there? No. We got to be upfront about it. But Trump is just as bad as Biden was, as bad as Obama and Bush blew it too. They all blew it. When will we one day look at our history of America and understand it isn't one president, it isn't one Congress, it's an ongoing attitude, ongoing issues that are or are not dealt with for a while that lead to an unsuccessful or successful conclusion. But when you ignore it, it hardly ever leads to a successful conclusion. You have to deal with it. You have to get forward. You got to keep moving forward. So now that we've known and proved that Trump is nothing but a loser on COVID and let everything else done, how about all this talk about the government controlling the weather? How about all this talk about how the Dems are not sending supplies and stuff, FEMA, to North Carolina. Meanwhile, Trump said yesterday, you ready for this, Dr. V? He said, I'm not sending money to California for the forest fires, for the wildfires. Think about that. So listen, guys, while we're talking, we go both ways here. We know who we support. You know who we support. But if Biden does something bad, we tell you, listen to Trump. He'll say this. Oh, yeah, they're not treating Republicans good and all this, and it's all going to the immigrants. We all know it isn't. FEMA's got the money. Congress has got to put it out there. But then Trump comes in and says, why would I send the governor of California any money for their wildfires? Why would I do that? Hey, why would I do that? Because you're president of the United States, because you're supposed to. Go on, Bob, we love you. I don't know what all the TDSs are.
Was that Trump something syndrome?
Oh, Trump derangement? Trump derangement? No, listen, guys, we're upfront about it. Trump is trash. Trump is horrible. Trump is anti-American. Trump is a traitor, okay? That's not TDS. That's just fact. And it's facts you've got to deal with. So you can all say TDS. I'm throwing all these facts at you, and all I hear is TDS. Hey, guys, come at me with some stuff. Thank you, Knockout. We love you. TDS is all you can say, which means you got nothing. I know that. You got to make a point. Another TDS, B-Funk. Kathy, she was vice president.
Points.
Go ahead.
And
right,
for example,
right.
They could say Trump did a better job of closing the border, and when Biden came in, he immediately opened the border.
You could say that.
And too many people came in, recognized their mistake. He's closed it up again. But I think the reason why you and I are not fans of Trump is because he's only looking out for his self-interest. When a bipartisan group of senators came up with a plan to deal with the problem, Trump said, I don't want you guys dealing with the problem. That's going to hurt my chances to get reelected. And he scuttled the whole plan, so they couldn't vote on it. Is that the kind of person you want to have as president, who only puts his interest above the interest of the country? And that's why I have a problem with the guy. There's some policies that are not unreasonable, if you can sort of figure out what his policies are. But the point is, he's just in it for him, and he doesn't have the interest of the country at heart, and that's why I think he's not very good for the country.
Debbie, what strangers are we giving money to? We give money to everybody. This is America. We've always done it. We do it because it helps make America grow. It helps make America better. Trump isn't a good guy. Didn't you just listen to Dr. V? Trump is dirt. Trump only cares about Trump. Let's be upfront about it. Why is everybody so afraid to say it? Why don't you buy that $100,000 watch he's selling? Why don't you buy his other watches? Why don't you buy his gold shoes? Who is he, Nike? Look, this guy's supposed to be president of the United States. Come on. Come on. He's doing nothing. He's not putting the interest of himself. Anthony, that's all he cares about. Let me ask you, why does everybody go around Trump gets in trouble? Because they take his lies and run with it. He's the only one who can get away with his lies. Right now, J.D. Vance can get away with those lies too. If they lose, he won't be able to get away with it as Justice Satter down the road. But right now, Trump can get away with it. He's beyond Teflon. They used to say Reagan was when he was president. But this guy is walking Teflon. But if you take Trump's lies, you get put away. Why do you get put away? Why do you get put away? And let me ask you something, Fritz. You think a president has something to do with the amount of money you make? A president sits there and tries to lead and put things together. Then Congress has to come up with the bills and spend the money. That's what America is. That's how it works. So you just can't come in and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It doesn't work. And am I the pillow guy? How many times do they ask me that, Dr. V? How many times? I'm better looking at the pillow guy. I tell you this. I tell him that, Dr. V. I tell you this all the time. I got a better mustache, and I'm not selling you anything. I'm just telling you what I think. That's the difference between me and him. Well, we've been explaining. We haven't even got to Kamala. Let's get back to it. Why Kamala? Because she didn't do any of this. Let's get to it. Okay, then let's get to the economy. Kamala wants to give money to small business, to people to have homes. Trump wants to have tariffs. You know what tariffs are? How many of you guys went out and bought a TV recently? You buy a TV, they're pretty cheap. You always see them. They always got deals. Don't you always see them, Dr. V? There's always deals for TVs. Well, when you got tariffs, the TVs aren't made in America, and they're not going to be made in America because they're too expensive here. So if you're going to get tariffs, you're going to end up paying another $300, $400 for the TVs. Why not, right? That's going to work. What does Trump think? When you put up walls, just unilaterally put up walls, it doesn't do anything. Of course, I got clues on how tariffs work, Lysol. The bottom line is that you just don't throw them all up there. If you want to use individual tariffs for specific situations, you do it. But if you think the answer, and if all you people believe that just putting tariffs up are going to work, wait till you see the inflation when you got to pay so much more money for stuff coming into this country. And if you think we can manufacture everything here, it just doesn't work that way. We got to work. Go ahead. Good. Yes.
Where does Trump get all his American Bibles from?
Oh, you mean the Trump Bibles from China? From China. From China. No. He's helping the Chinese economy, Dr. V.
So, and all the Trump paraphernalia that he sells, where do you think it comes from?
Maybe China.
It's made in China.
Wow.
So this guy who says he wants to protect American jobs, and
GJ, say it. Go ahead.
All his products to be made in China.
That's right.
But that's what I mean about he doesn't care about the American people.
Lysol, we're talking about Trump. We're talking about tariffs across the board. That was Chinese tariffs for specific reasons that you're talking about. Once again, you have to look at each individual issue. You just can't throw up a million tariffs or say all immigrants are bad or say America is horrible. You can't do it because it isn't true. You can do it, but it isn't true. Dustin, I don't know. We're giving you the information. The misinformation is coming from the hot air blowing out of Trump's mouth. Let's keep going. Who are the tax cuts for Trump's going to have, Dr. V? Are they for you?
No.
Are they going to be for your kids?
I'm
not rich enough either.
not rich enough.
Right, his cuts are for the billionaires. All you guys sit there and want to say, yeah, he's great. I speak is wrong. Really, where are the cuts going? The tax cuts go to the billionaires. Isn't it great? Elon Musk, all of them, they need more money. Yeah, Donald Trump, thank you, because we're going to have a trickle down theory. You know what happens with the trickle down theory? The money trickles down into the pockets of the billionaires, and more billionaires get the money. And you got a billionaire like Donald Trump who's ripping people off. Well, he isn't. People are wasting their money, throwing him money, giving him money for his watches and shirts, whatever else he's got, his trading cards. Oh, come on. Frank, they both said they're going to do that. And you have to get this stuff through Congress. Remember all that. Bottom line, here, another bottom line is there. What are we doing? He's doing nothing. What's he doing? He did nothing. He did nothing.
The billionaires create jobs. That's what I'm reading.
No, yeah, for who? For billionaires.
For Chinese.
Right. Some billionaires do, and there are some jobs. But look at all the houses. You guys have been watching me talk about this. We talk about housing. Why can't Americans buy houses? Who owns a major chunk of the housing stock now? The billionaires. I've been telling you this. It's out there. It's all the big money funds. They're just buying homes, and they've been buying them, and they got a major chunk, and that chunk changes everything. If money goes into their pockets, yeah, they have people working for them. I think that's great, and I respect them for making the money they make. If they're doing it legally, right on. But they're doing it at the expense of people like you guys all sitting there talking. No, they don't own a huge chunk of American housing. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, wrong person there. The body, you just got to look at this stuff and understand. Now look at it. You go out, a builder goes out, builds all these homes. He wants to sell 100, he wants to sell 20 of the homes. He doesn't go to you or me. He goes to the rich guys and says, buy my homes. And then they make you sign a lease. They don't sell you those houses. They give you a lease to sign, and you sign a lease, and you're a tenant. And you know how easy it is to get kicked out? And are you getting any of that equity when that equity goes up in value? Of course not. So let's look at this. That's what billionaires do. They make their money. The good ones do it legally. I respect that. But it doesn't mean you have to be impressed by it. And keep this in mind, too. Even Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank said this. These billionaires, they're smart in being a billionaire, but not in anything else most of the time. Because that's all they're good at is making money. They're not good at looking out for you, for Dr. V, or for me. That's the problem. That's what we talk about here. And I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I don't care if you're an independent. I'm talking about Americans and how we get taken advantage of by all these guys that have all this money and these people. And I appreciate your comments and I respect your comments. I throw you a kiss. I do thank you for all these comments. The bottom line, though, is we are looking at a billionaire who's ripping off people like a lot of the other billionaires, putting the money in their pocket, and we sit here and we go, they're going to lead us out of the forest. They're going to lead us to the promised land. Wrong. We're going to be there, the Pied Piper. You remember the Pied Piper? They come up and he plays the flute. He plays the flute, and everybody follows him away. And we lose all the children. That's the same thing here. Don't fall for the flute. Well, Jethro Tull, I like Jethro Tull, but don't fall for the flute. Don't fall for that smell of money and think because these rich guys have it, you're going to get it. You got a chance, you buy stocks, you hope it works, you do this kind of stuff, but your tax money is enabling these people to be billionaires. Hey, maybe they can lay a little of that money back on us. What would be wrong with that? And Trump doesn't want to do it. He wants them to make it happen. That's not Trump derangement syndrome. That's worrying about Americans who are getting hurt in this economy, who need help, and this is not the guy who's going to give it to those people. Go for it, Dr. V.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading the comments, and I keep reading that, well, Harris is no better. All politicians lie. All politicians look out for their own best interest. But there's something fundamentally different about Trump, and let me try to explain. Last election, when it was clear that Trump lost, he would not admit that he lost. And then he took steps to make sure Biden election was not certified. And then he riled up a group of people who stormed the Capitol. That's never happened in the United States. There's no politician that's done that. When Nixon lost to Kennedy in 1960, there were shenanigans going on then, but Nixon at least had the sense to protect democracy, to protect the integrity of the democratic process, not to contest the election, not to have his supporters disrupt the certification of John Kennedy. When Hillary Clinton lost, she was on the phone congratulating Trump that night. Yes, during Trump's administration, there were attempts to get him out legally through the impeachment process, but there was no gang of people attacking the government to disrupt the natural flow of the political process. And that's what's fundamentally different. The guy will not accept defeat. He only knows the Cohen rules of attack, 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 deny, 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 and always be aggressive. And that's not good for our country. It's not good for our institutions.
Tony Z, you're hearing the real. Let me throw something else out here too, because we talk about men. We talk about how men are getting handled in America. Dr. V has talked about this on other occasions when we've done this kind of stuff. Let's get something straight. Donald Trump is the example of a man? No. His gender appears to be a man. He says he is. But is he a man? No, a man stands up. A man tells it like it is. A man isn't afraid to tell the truth. A man isn't afraid to look at a problem head on and deal with it. A man isn't afraid to come forward and say, I'm for you and I work for you because we work together. A man isn't afraid to say, I don't care if you're a woman or a man, we are one because we're Americans. A man isn't afraid to say any of that. But this guy who says he's a man, he's afraid to say it because he refuses to look at the goodness of this country, the greatness of this country. And as we come in, that's not derangement, that's reality. This guy doesn't believe that we are great. We are. We've got problems. Dr. V hears this from me all the time. We got problems. Of course we do, but we deal with them and we try to deal with them. We don't deal with them by putting up signs saying, throw out all the immigrants. We don't do it by putting up signs and saying, we love Putin, we love Hungary. We don't do it by saying, we don't care about the rest of America. All we care about is ourselves. We don't sit there and just saying, I'm sorry, this is a Christian nation. It isn't a Christian nation. Everybody seems to forget the Pilgrims came over to get away from the Church of England. Church. You ever heard that word? Church. The Pilgrims came to America to get away from the Church of England. And please give us some more thumbs up. We love you. If you don't agree with us, we love your comments. We're right there. Please give us more. It's ain't boomer rage. It's boomer truth, Brian. Bottom, we've lived it. We've seen it. I love being a boomer. We had great music. We got good kids, and we got a great country. So being a boomer, right on, Pickle. Being a boomer, I say right on. I got no problem being a boomer. I'm proud I'm a boomer because we can talk about it. We've seen it. We know what's going on. And our kids are able to talk. You guys are out there doing all this stuff. Yeah, right. Bottom line, there ain't no lies going on here. There's only the truth. Trump is horrible. Trump's the reason for the war in the Mideast. Trump's the reason for a major reason for the civil unrest or distrust in this country. You come on to here, we say we love you. We don't care if you're MAGA. As long as you're American and you care about America, you love America, we love you. We love your comments. We love all this. But still, we're not horrible, Bob J. We're great. And I still want to know what country, tell me all you Trumpers, what country would you rather go to and live in than live here. I'm watching. And Dr. V, if you see some of them come up, will you tell me? Because I'm throwing that out there because I see some of these going, America's horrible. America's this. We got to leave America. How can we deal with America? It's absolutely horrendous. And I'm waiting to hear, what country do you want? Australia's a great country. That's a little far away. What country do you, and there are friends, what country do you want to go to leave here? To leave here. And remember, in Australia, you're next to China. You got to deal with China. You can't, because you can't get good answers to this. Trump for prison. Malaysia? Okay. Let me tell you, the one great thing about boomer time is you can always get on a plane and fly anywhere you want to go. When we were growing up, it wasn't that easy to get around. I had a friend who was in Italy when I was in college, and he had to go to the main telephone, which was like in the center of town, to make a phone call. He told me he got hit by a pigeon when he was on the phone talking to his mother. I'll never forget that one, Topo. But the bottom line is, that was different then. Now, you couldn't just get over there. Now, it's just you want to get on that plane, go to Malaysia. Malaysia's a great country. And if you think it's great to live there, right on, baby. Europe, Europe's got a lot of different countries. You have to decide which one you like. Commie Channel, come on, man. Commies. We lived through communism. We saw communism. You guys don't know what communism is. I love when you all come on and go, communism. You don't know what communism is. We, the boomers, lived through the USSR. The boomers saw Mao. The boomers went through Korea. Well, I'm too young for Korea, but Vietnam, and the horrible stain of Vietnam on our country. The horrible stain. We saw it, but we're dealing with it because we have the experience to come in and say, hey, here it is. And there it is, the CHIPS Act. The CHIPS Act is America. What's wrong with that? It's happening, man. We got chips coming. We got the greatest companies in the world. And you guys misunderstand us. I don't care if you make billions of dollars. Make all the money you can make. If you make it legally, right on. That's great for America. That's what America is. People out able to go. That's why people come here, because they can do this kind of stuff and make that kind of money and try to do what they want to do. But still, you can't let them control. Standard Oil. That's before everybody's time. They controlled all the oil. They were down in Texas. They controlled the oil and the refining and the railroads and all this. They had to be broken up. AT&T, they controlled the phones. You guys don't remember picking up a phone. Hello, operator. Call and try to do things with the dial. It doesn't work. It's changed. So just because we respect people who make a whole lot of money, just because they are great at doing it, doesn't mean that they get away with keeping all of it all the time, because they couldn't do it without this country, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the people paying their taxes. They couldn't do it without this country behind them. Supporting a convicted rapist. Gene, it's just craziness when I see all this. It just really makes me go. I just sit there and I go, oh, one other things I want to ask too. Why is the UN down the Mideast? They talk about these UN peacekeepers. What peace are they keeping? I don't know. Why they've been there the last 20 years? They didn't keep the peace. They didn't keep the resolution. The UN resolution was that the Lebanese and Hezbollah didn't go south of Litani River. They did, and the peacekeepers did nothing. What's a peacekeeper? Look, we got a problem in this world. I'm pumping right back into this, and Dr. V starts wanting to take me by, yeah, it's real hair, the color's real, but it ain't much. But to go with it is we're getting close to a real war now. People better start looking at it. I've got it all over just an American citizen. But don't you think that we're not? We're going to get, one of our ships could get hit. This is going to get big. The Israelis are going to make a move. If the Iranians say they're talking, they're going to try to come back before they think a Trump or somebody's going to come after them. They're going to try to do all this kind of stuff. Get ready. Get ready for American losses. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I've been saying this for a while. I better start looking at it and understanding that's what's going to be on the front of the papers. And let me throw one more quickie out for Dr. Vigo, and then I'm going to get everybody else with this. Yeah, I'm worried about this election. The energy seems to be with Trump. People seem to think that being hateful, being nasty, lying, and throwing more lies on top of other lies is the answer to leading this country. I don't, but I am concerned. Dr. V?
Yeah, according to the betting markets this week, Kamala had a very bad week, and I wonder what that's about. And I live in Pennsylvania, and I'm looking out and I see all these Trump signs out there, and I think there's a real chance that Trump's going to win this election. And I don't know, Kamala is going to have to figure out a strategy to turn the tide here, because it looks like Trump's momentum is picking up. So I'm very concerned. If you're not a Trump supporter, I'm concerned he's going to get in there.
Yeah, but I'm still waiting for the reasons. People are not giving me what it is about Trump that's so good. I still don't see it.
When I talk to people, they'll say
Why don't these guys say it? Do you actually support America? What are you talking about? Camo. Oh, you're tough. You're camo. I mean, come on, guys. You got the right to call yourself what you want. Of course, we all care about America. If you don't care about America, why are we on here? If you don't care about America, why are we talking? If we don't care about America, why are we doing all this? We're caring. We care because we love it. We love it. You can love Trump. I still don't see the reason why. Dr. V, we lost Dr. V. Dr. V is gone. He got cut out. I don't know what happened to Dr. V. I think the Russian bots have gotten in and made a move on Dr. V. Look at that. It's going. It's going. I don't know where Dr. V is. Or maybe somebody came in and said, hey, we're moving with it. Well, that nice thing about Dr. V not being here, as much as I love Dr. V, is he loves Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd is one of the most boring groups I've ever heard. Every time I hear somebody talk about Pink Floyd being great, I go, oh, it does go ding, ding, bum, 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 boom. Bob J, did he go Republican? I don't know. And the incredible, I'm joking about being a Russian bot. He probably just lost his connection. And I'm letting it just sit there and turn. I'm just laughing now. Is it just me back there? Oh, it's just me. Look at that. I got to get out of here, man. There's no way. I don't know what happened to Dr. V. Dr. V left us and said bye-bye. So there we are with all this, and here we go. You'll be fine. You know something? Kathy made a good point. And let me ask you this also. How about all the Republicans who are supporting Trump, who are supporting Harris? How come all the people, Russia's horrible. Russia's thugs. The people probably aren't bad, but they're thugs. Everybody runs it. You die if you disagree. You die, you get put in the gulag. That's what Russia is. That's all Russia is. You do what Russia wants or else, and that's the ball game. And there are. Oh, come on, Ferry. Come on, Tony Z. Why are people all yelling, calling everybody names? Here it is. Our dollar's worth great now, GTA Customs. Take your dollar anywhere. I want to know where you could take the dollar, what country you could take the dollar to, and they're going to say, I don't want the dollar. They'll all take the dollar. They'll take the dollar in China, renminbi. They'll take it anywhere. Korea would love to have it. North Korea, would love to have it. Look at all this stuff going on. As we go, we're just rocking. But let me just throw this out to you. I appreciate you all coming on. We had a really good one. They were on every Sunday. Just an American Citizen, that's our channel. Please go and subscribe sometime. Please go. We love the thumbs up. Please go and subscribe. Let us know what you think. I appreciate all you looking. We don't care if you agree or disagree. We get more comments than most people. I thank you. We'll be back on as always next Sunday at 11. We're back. I'm back. I'll be back Wednesday also at either 11 or 7. Thank you all for coming on. We love America. And we love all of you. And that's the way it is, period. Thanks again.